I was probably here 5 years before Raymond uh, became a hourly worker for a while, and it was like right at the time when the district was in a freeze, so he was working part time, but he was also working another job at downtown with one of the hotels, and he was doing that like 5 days a week. Well, he was doing that pretty regularly. He got here to Mesa where he finally got into some regular hours as a part-time person, and the district finally lifted their freeze, and he was able to get in as a permanent. When he became a permanent person, he was given the task of all the setups that were going on around the Mesa campus, whether it being a club function that needed tables and chairs, or the president needed her office ready, something set up for her meetings and things like that. Raymond was meticulous in his job. He made sure every table cleaned, wiped down, made sure every chair that was going to be set in and used was cleaned and prepared for anyone to use it. And this could be anywhere from 10 chairs to 100 chairs or more. And he would take the time to make sure each one of those things were done.
So he took a pride in his work.
Very much so. Very much so. That was probably one thing that he didn't like about how some people didn't really take pride in their jobs. And he definitely took pride in what he was doing. And he made sure that in how he worked. Raymond took each day, every day he could get up and go to work. He definitely made sure he would smile at everyone. He would greet everyone with a hello or a goodbye or how you doing. I'm telling you, he had the loudest hello on campus. You could be in one part of the campus and you could hear him saying hello to someone, anyone, and with the most powerful grip in his handshake. My goodness.
Strong handshake?
Very strong.
He was born in Louisiana. He was raised by his maternal grandmother, and he has one sister, and his grandmother was, pretty much saved the lives of Ray and his sister, and she worked 2 jobs, and which is a wonderful example for him, I think. And he was just a one of a kind. Everything about him was just a little bit different than everyone else. But after a few years working contract, he was finally able to get a condo and move out of his single room occupancy unit. And it was so cute because he called even the bathroom in his one bedroom condo a room, because he had been in the single room occupancy unit, and I don't believe he even had a private restroom, in the SRO. And he painted his walls pink and purple and bright green, and he had a multitude of wind chimes on his balconies. Just love them. Yeah. He's just a really, really interesting person. Yeah, I call him the James Brown of Mesa College, the hardest working man at Mesa. And he did the setups, I think, and that's how a lot of faculty, like Professor Mayasa, got to know him. He took care of the setups in our old conference room for probably 20 years, but he was so diligent.
Well, just from him coming into work, he's very consistent. When he came into work, he worked.
Right.
You know, he didn't come in and lollygag or nothing. Whenever we saw Raymond, he was doing something. He was
Right.
always busy.
Right.
She had told me that
We called him like one of the hardest working guys on campus. But he enjoyed what he did. He was a dedicated guy, and he took care of what he had to take care of. You know? He was always engaging folks. It doesn't matter if you're admin, faculty, staff, or students. He was going to say hello, and he was going to put a positive spin on it. Well, I think his legacy is going to be one of caring, because he not only did he care for the people here and the students here, because he was always talking about the students, but he also cared about the physical plant, the actual campus itself, because he dedicated so much time to do it, to take care of it. That's going to be his legacy. But it's also, I told you about him being positive. That's another part of that legacy. When you would come on the campus and he would see you, he was like, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" And he had no volume control. It was all the way up all the time.
Right.
Yeah. But he was so consistent, and he was always positive with people.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd always recognize you, which was really cool.
Right.
Another thing about him too is that he had no agenda. When what you saw was what you got.
Right.
Some people you're like always wondering like, okay, what's going on behind those eyes? But him, it was all you knew. What you were getting was right. He was honest and he was a caring guy. Is that he had no agenda. When what you saw was what you got.
Right.
Some people you're like always wondering like, okay, what's going on behind those eyes? But him, it was all you knew. What you were getting was right. He was honest and he was a caring guy.
I've always noticed his southern accent. I think I heard at some point he'd been in the military. But what I always knew about him is he was always very polite and courteous. Always going the extra mile to help anybody, whatever they might need. And if you talk to anybody, they'll say to you, oh, he was the one who would always yell across the quad, oh, hey, good morning, Miss Kathy. And some people would hide from it like, oh, no, the whole world's turning and looking at me because Raymond's trying to say good morning.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly, you just wanted to go up to him and give him a hug every time you saw him. Just a very sweet man.
Mm-hmm.
Very sweet. Very charming, very just genuine and friendly. But he was a man who would always be out there no matter what was needed. No matter who needed it. He could be working on something and a student will stop him and ask directions.
Mm-hmm.
And he would, go ahead and help the student out, that type of thing. So he put himself out there and he went the extra mile in his job. Back in the day, we used to always have to have, and we still do have, facilities to set up for events. And it's very easy to just show up, set up your chairs, set up your tables, and be on your way. But if Raymond was the one setting up your tables and your chairs, you better believe that he would be hauling a vacuum cleaner, a carpet cleaner, like the big industrial that you have to wash the carpets, into the elevator and getting everything down the hall to 435 where we were having a meeting. If he knew the president was there or whomever. And he would be literally washing the carpets, vacuuming, cleaning cobwebs off the corners of the windowsills. Then he'd be putting the chairs up. He'd be wiping the chairs down individually. He'd be cleaning the tables off individually, clean off the whiteboard. I mean, this man paid so much attention to detail that it's like nobody else can touch that level of detail and that level of caring. It wasn't like an OCD, things must be clean. It was, I love my job. And if Raymond is going to be setting this up, it's going to be done perfectly. I don't care who's in the meeting. It's a meeting. People are professional, and this has to be set up a certain way. So that, to me, is the legacy that he leaves behind of just somebody who really, truly cared about what he did.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what his level is and what, it was who he was. And this is the level that he worked at all the time. To know him was to experience him. It was when I walked in on him shampooing the carpets for a committee meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Raymond, what are you doing? Well, Miss Kathy, it's got to look nice. We're going to have a big meeting this afternoon. And I'm like, but you're shampooing the carpets. Shouldn't that be somebody else doing that? Maybe on a Saturday? No, I saw there was a spot on here and I had to clean it before that meeting. And he'd put chairs out. I know we have another hour, but we got to keep it clean. And I just left the room shaking my head going, wow, you really are going the extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
So, that experience can be repeated multiple times. And it was just that first instance of me walking in on on him shampooing the carpet. I'm like, okay. Guess it needed to be cleaned.
He walked literally from that corner. He helped this little old lady cross the street. It was like, dude, you know, I just dropped you off, man. Now you're like, you know, you're over there already helping somebody there. Then he had to walk back across the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he was like, I don't know if he was afraid. I didn't talk to him about that, but I like stopped there and I just watched, and it was, you know, it was just, I thought it was kind of insane because while he was walking the lady across the street, he missed his bus. So you'd have to wait another 15 minutes for another bus. Well, I've heard other people say his spirit, which is true. It's funny though, because his last name, Vital or Vital, it means life.
Yep.
If you look at Latin, it's life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Raymond, life. It's like ray of sunshine. You know, ray of hope. Ray. You know, it's like he had the perfect name. He should have been a politician. You
I
know.
think he was meant to be.